my presentation. Yeah. Thank you. All right, so we'll look at the regulation, how far we've come, where we are currently as a commission. We'll look at the various types of licenses that the regulation has prescribed. And I'm sure a lot of people are anxious to know whether if they are qualified to be issued the license or not. Today we will have the opportunity to go through that. And then together we will also look at expected outcome, if properly regulated through your corporation. Then we conclude from there. Yes. Just looking at the map globally, if you look at, you see colors dotted around. That is just how currently the cannabis situation is. The green part is actually where there's legalization for only medical usage. So you see the African map, Ghana is rightly colored with a green color. That is where we find ourselves. Ghana, together with about 48 other 48 other countries globally, has legalized cannabis only for medicinal usage. The blue has about 9 countries globally legalizing for both recreational and medicinal use. In it, we have Canada, Uruguay, Thailand that has retail shops where you can walk in to buy cannabis, but then they allow for recreational use. And we have about 30 other countries that has only decriminalized. Decriminalization here, what it seeks to tell us is that they don't penalize you, but they only give you fine when you are caught in possession of the cannabis. Yeah. All right, so the question out there has always been, what type of cannabis has Ghana legalized? If you look at the map to your right, that's on my left from here, you'd have realized that we've labeled it therapeutic and psychoactive. The one that the LI has legalized is the CBD dominant one, which is that's the therapeutic one, cannabis, and not the THC dominant one, which we term as the psychoactive one. That is still illegal in Ghana. From my right, you will see that I have highlighted the uses of cannabis so that we will see the positives that come with cannabis. Cannabis, from its roots to the flower, all has uses. From the roots, we can actually use it to revitalize the spoiled land through galamsey. From the fiber, we can get the textile industry revamped, and the paper industry still the same. The flower, the cosmetic industry, the medicinal, the pharmaceutical industry, they all benefit from the flowers. Then from the seed, we get the hemp seed oil, etc., etc. Ardent followers of parliamentary proceeding will attest to the fact that this, our law, has actually gone through a lot. The Mother Act, which is the Act 1019, was passed with a Section 43 properly captured in, which mandates the Minister for Interior to grant licensing for activities relating to cannabis. With that, there was a bit of issue. A citizen took the matter to court contesting the procedural aspect of it, which led to an Amendment Act of 1100, which was duly signed on the 2nd of August 2023, which reinserting the Section 43. And by November, the LI 2475 was passed to operationalize the 1100 Amendment Act. With this, what it seeks to tell us was that cannabis next. All right, so what the regulation allows, and the following activities are what the regulation allows: cultivation, processing, transport, etc. But then with a THC of no more than 0.3 at dry weight basis. And I repeat, this is the therapeutic cannabis we are talking about and not the psychoactive cannabis. What are the various types of licensing? There are about 11 different types of licenses that the LI has prescribed, ranging from breeding, cultivation, processing, laboratory research and development, storage, storage, transport, import, export, sales and distribution, advertisement, and promotion. The question then arises, who qualifies? One, a person must apply must be 18 years and above. Beyond that, you must be a Ghanaian citizen or legally permanent resident in Ghana. When I say legally permanent resident, means there are quite a number of our colleagues from the sub-region who lives in Ghana without any legalized residence permit. So to be qualified for this, you must have a legal permanent resident in Ghana as a foreigner. Or if it's a corporate body, you must have 50% Ghanaian shareholding. And that tells you that the law was actually made to favor Ghanaians. Or majority of your directors must be Ghanaian citizens, or if not Ghanaian citizens, but then they must be legally resident in Ghana. The application process. An online portal, walk into any NIB branch nationwide, you request for a voucher that allows you access to the online portal. Or there are other payment options that has been given. With that, if you have your Visa card or Momo, you can sit comfortably in your house and do the application. After applying, you submit the form through the same online portal. With that, within the portal, you are also required to upload certain required documents that is needed for the application. And mind you, when we go further, I will tell you what could happen if you don't add the necessary documents that is required for the application. So after applying, you pay the associated fee upon approval. So if you don't have approval, you don't pay the necessary fee associated with your license. And it's encouraged that all potential license holders must get the LI 247 to familiarize themselves with it, so that you do not have excuses for violation, because ignorance of the law would not be an excuse with NACO. It is also worth mentioning that there will be vigorous vetting done on your application. So it wouldn't just come the next day you are already following us for a license. It doesn't work that way. To tell you we do not encourage middlemen. If you use a middleman, you are already disqualified to start with. So don't even start. Every Ghanaian is qualified. You can sit and do it. Somebody can guide you, but not doing it on your behalf. Upon submission of your application, the commission, what we do is to review your application, review the application, conduct compliance audit, and with that we'll be talking to you back and forth, because the officers have to visit to see the land you claim you have, to make sure indeed the land is there. So that relationship will start and it will continue in perpetuity. We'll submit recommendation for approval, and at this stage is when we'll tell you whether if you can go further to pay the license fee or not. And of course, all license may be granted with conditions and application. Applicants may be asked to resubmit further documents. That is the information you submitted. If you are not convinced with it, we will request that you furnish it with further documents to assist with your application. But then the LI equally prescribed grounds for refusal. Though yes, you are qualified for it, but then there are other things that the LI prescribe. If you violate them, we can refuse you the license. That is one, if you fail to meet the qualification for the license, or if you, which is prescribed by the Regulation 8 of the LI, providing insufficient or falsified information, or even falsified documents, is a ground for refusal. Or in fact, if we do the vetting and realize that you've been linked to diversion of illicit substances, straight away you will not get the license. Or if we also evaluate and realize that your activities poses a public health risk, it's also a grounds for refusal. Or one of the requirements too is to submit your security protocol. So upon vetting and the audits come in and we realize that you do lack all the security measures, your license will be outrightly dismissed, and you'll be required to go and then change all what was raised and then come back all over again. Or if we, the commission, visit and find uncleared personnel within your establishment, is a grounds for refusal, for cancellation or even withdrawal of the license. The records proposal of the record keeping method. If you submit the proposal to us and we realize that it is not doable, it's a grounds for refusal. The commission will, however, notify you and gives you opportunity to correct whatever it is. So then within 14 working days, you are expected to get back to us on all the issues that were raised. Renewal of the license. So every license lasts for 3 years, except the breeding and then the research and development. And then you are supposed, 3 months prior to the expiry, you must get back to the commission and start the process of renewal. And the procedure for renewal is the same as the procedure, just like the original application you submitted. You go through the same process. The LI has also allowed us to have permit system from cultivation, import, export, up to advertisement. So the fact that you have the license does not mean you just go straight and start to work. You will have to, once the work come back, once the need arises for you to take the permit. And what are the prohibited activities under this LI? 1, you cannot do cannabis that are above the 0.3 threshold. That one is a no. Or if you declare a site that we have certified that yes, you can do it, only to visit and realize that you have moved to a different location, that is, you have gone beyond or out of the LI, and you can be penalized. I always say the implementation of this LI is just there's a slim margin in the implementation and the violation of the Mother Act, which is the Act 1019. So if you think you can just have it easy, it wouldn't come that way. 1, prohibited activities also. You cannot have a cannabis farm around a public school or recreational areas or residential area too. So if you want to go into the business, start looking for a land far away from residential areas. Also, property that is not owned by you, but you must have the right documentation from the owners authorizing you to use it for the purpose for which you are applying. Also, allowing unsupervised personnel onto your site is a grounds for cancellation of your license. Take note. And the LI has equally sanctioned, has prescribed penalties ranging from license cancellation, forfeiture, or safe disposal of the cannabis at your own cost. Inspections. We are mandated to carry out inspection, both announced and unannounced. But then you will, so you are expected to comply with all when the inspectors come to your site. An inspector can enter your premises with or without warrant. They are mandated to take samples, take pictures, and you are not expected as a license holder to resist that. Once you start resisting, it tells us that you are hiding something. It violates the conditions for which the license was granted to you. We are also allowed to be able to seize evidence and temporarily suspend non-compliant activities. So if you are really thinking of going into the cannabis business, you must be ready to abide by the rules governing the industry. NACOP collaborates with all these stakeholders, though it's not exhaustive, but these are the key stakeholders we work hand in hand with. The Ministry of Interior, which is our mother ministry, the Ghana Police Service, Ministry of Food and Agriculture, that's the Plant Quarantine, which is under the ministry, the Center for Scientific and Industrial Research, the EPA, Lands Commission, for verification of the various lands you supply to us. You will add to your application. We need to verify and make sure indeed that is it. So if you are thinking of falsifying land documents, you better start thinking twice. Also, we would like to remind you of the misinformation out there. We will continue telling you that it is not the cannabis with high THC that has been legalized. It's the cannabis with 0.3 THC of dry weight basis. In fact, we would prefer that you even call it hemp instead of cannabis. That's where the confusion comes in. Then there are quite a number of unauthorized people out there. A number of investors have approached the commission on this. People parading themselves as authority over this whole cannabis chain business. We would like to inform everyone that deal with the authorized government agency, which is the Narcotics Control Commission. that is mandated to carry out this whole thing. Nobody is representing NACOC in this case. NACOC has not sanctioned anybody to act on his behalf. And Honourable Minister, to ensure smooth implementation of and compliance, NACOC will continue one, prioritize public education. Our education team is out there. For the past few weeks, we will attest to the fact that quite a number of our officers are on TV, radios, trying to educate Ghanaians on the need to identify the right hemp that has been legalized and not confuse it with the cannabis of high THC. Uphold strict compliance with regulatory requirements. We will also maintain an open door policy that will encourage transparency of engagement, promote the highest standard of professionalism and its operation. In fact, NACOC will completely adhere to technology. In fact, we have already gotten software that will assist us in the monitoring of and traceability of this whole value chain. Mind you, all those who will be fortunate to go into the industry, you will be issued ID cards. With this ID card, it will come with QR codes, such that even if our stakeholders, let me say maybe the Ghana Police Service, they should be able to scan the QR codes, get a basic information from those cards. So it will make it so difficult for you to even duplicate or even impersonate the card. Also, there will be the need to adopt drone technologies that will allow us to do the surveillance of the farms when we go for inspections. In conclusion, the success of the cannabis regulation program is dependent on the collaborative effort of all stakeholders here involved, and as well as strict monitoring and enforcement of the law. And with that, we can actually be able to compete with the global partners out there, because the industry is so big, the competition is so high, so we cannot afford to start wrongly. We will have to ensure that we start right, even if we have to start with very few people. Recreational use and trafficking is still illegal in Ghana, and then also we will continue to say that deal directly with NACOC, and when you have doubt, contact NACOC. Our phone numbers, and of course the cannabis continues strictly by the 0.3 THC. And these are the contact information if you need to contact NACOC if you are in doubt. Thank you very much.